here, and got it hooked up and running. It runs off the engine in the truck. It's, as you can tell, that's one of our old trucks that we just decided didn't look good enough to drive to people's houses. So I stuck all the carpet cleaning stuff in it. And so I'm working on my two little goldfish ponds. That one's okay. This one over here leaks pretty bad. And we've been testing it and working on it. And that's about the most water it'll hold now, is what you see there. And instead of going down in there to try to unscrew that drain that hasn't been out in I don't know how many years, I'm gonna vacuum this water out with the big truck mount. I hate to get all these leaves in it, but let's just see what happens. I'll watch the level over there and see how low it goes, and I'll go dump the tank. It holds about 150 gallons. And there's probably 300 or 400 here. So it's pretty powerful. I just picked it up to let it clear out a little every now and then. Try to go below those leaves and just get pure water. Keep from drawing too many more leaves in it than I have to. It clogs up the filter. But this shouldn't take long. I hope that's not rusted and we don't end up having to bust this out and run a new drain line, but that drains both sides. Somebody filled the tunnel in, and you can see that tunnel that goes between them, so it's supposed to all be one pond, and they cemented that in and put a liner in it. So I ripped all that out, and we're gonna put it back the way it was when I was a kid. And it was all cement, painted a real light blue color, so it looked kind of like a pool, and you could see the goldfish. You know, we used to try to catch them when we were little. Never could catch them, but we would try. And the aerators come out of the rocks right there, so it looks kind of like a little waterfall coming out. It's pretty cool. Oh, don't really want that stick. So you can see the level starting to drop over there. We'll get this out pretty quick. Looks like we're causing a little whirlpool there. It was going. Get it close. There it goes. Get it close to the surface and starts that little whirlpool. But you can see the level dropping over there. So we're gonna go dump the tank in a few minutes. We'll probably let it get about twice that much gone and go see how much is in it. So here's the dump valve. Oh yeah, got plenty. Let's hook a hose to it. Take it down in the yard. I decided I'll just run it out in the street. Down to the big storm drain instead of in the yard. And when you're cleaning carpet, they frown on this I guess because of soap and dirt and whatever, but this is just water out of my pond. So we'll go down there and run in that storm gully right there. Find out how full it was. But that's a lot quicker than using a siphon hose or whatever other method I could use. But once I get that drain cleared out, I think it's got 1.5 inch pipe on it. So whenever we need to clean it or do maintenance, whatever, we can just unscrew that plug and let it drain itself. The people that lived here when I was growing up, I remember them telling me they would catch all the fish and go put them in the bathtub and then clean the pools out, and that's how they did their maintenance. So we ought to be able to fire it back up in a minute. Might take 2 or 3 of these tanks. Like I said, that's a 150-gallon tank. So we'll see how many times that fills up. See how much water's in that thing. All right, had to take a little break, make some phone calls, but you can see the water line where it was up there. And I've dumped the tank about 3 times. So that's somewhere in the 500 to 600 gallons, believe it or not. It has come out. It just doesn't look like it would have been that much. But the tank holds 150, so I'm figuring it's at least getting 120 in it. But we're down to the last couple times now, and then I'm gonna get down there and see what happens when I try to turn that cap and male adapter out of there. I sure do hope we can save that pipe. We'll find out shortly. About the 4th, maybe the 5th dump. What's that helicopter doing? Looking for somebody. I don't know if that's the news or the police. It's been hovering around here for a while now. It's sticking in that one spot. Starting to get a little radical now. Over here in the deep part. This vacuum's pretty powerful. Probably gonna have to get down there and hold it. Oh, there's a little frog. He wants to know what I'm doing to his house. See him? Sorry, buddy. Sound like the tank's full. All right. That's enough of it out to get there to it and see if that Mr. Frog and Mr. Worm just hope there's not a lot of sand. Just hope there's not a Mr. Snake in here anywhere. All right, let's get a pipe wrench. See what happens. All right, the old Husky pipe wrench did break it loose. So that's good news. And look at it flying. That's real good news. So let's go see. What's coming out the end. Carrier has to go. There's the cool kaleidoscope window. Oh yeah. Draining right into the spring. That's kind of a natural spring there, at least that's what I've always thought. That is a spring. I mean, it can like never rain for weeks at a time, and we still get water coming from somewhere. I mean, you can tell all that water is definitely not from what we just now got out of that little pipe. So this is always flowing, and it's been neglected for a while, but we're going to get it back in shape and fix this dam up to where it stays full. And this is the koi pond. This is actually just a dirt bottom, so it's kind of a natural, man-made / natural setup. And this goes out down here, and there's like a 5 or 6 inch pipe right there that drains down here and goes to the creek. So you can see that's a lot more water than what that little drain pipe's putting out. So it's naturally fed with some type of spring. And this over here used to be a putting green. Actually, all this did. And looks like there's some stain up there on the roof. I don't know what that is. Kind of the Pizza Hut style roof. Pretty cool. But I'm just glad to make some progress on the 2 little front goldfish ponds. This will actually all get cleaned out and fixed up and stocked with something. But the front's what we're concentrating on right now. And I'm pretty happy to see that draining. So now I can get all